All right, guys, this is Matthew DelaFuente here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and another episode of Improv Stories. For those of you who may have never heard of Improv Stories or don't know what it is, I am given a list of objects or pieces of a story and a time limit, and I have to come up with a story within that time limit. In today's episode, I will be given a list of objects and a time limit of 10 seconds to formulate a story. And then I have to tell that story in 5 minutes. Okay, so now my wife is going to read to me the list of objects and we'll begin.
Okay, so today you have 4 objects,
Four pieces of a story.
Yes, 4 pieces of a story, thank you. And so the place is New York.
All right, so New York.
You have 2 people. You have an Indian man.
An Indian man.
And a cowboy.
And a cowboy.
And then your object is a candle.
And a candle.
Okay, and your 10 seconds start now. Okay?
Okay.
And now your 5 minutes start. Ready?
Ready.
Now.
Okay. All right. So this story takes us into the big, bright city of New York. And who is living in New York? Over 8 million people. You would think that in a city this size, they would be used to all these different kinds of people, all these different varieties and shapes and sizes and different manners of dress and all of that. Well, on this particular occasion, there was quite a stir made up about a cowboy who was walking through the streets of New York. He was in his spurs, he had a, thick jeans on and looked as though he had just gotten off of a horse. He had a big cowboy hat on and he turns to go into a bar. And everybody stops to look at him. And he's really put off by this. And where he came from, when you got looks like that, there was a confrontation that soon followed, as we see in all the classical movies. And so on this particular occasion, he goes up to the bartender and he says, "Give me a hot water, please," on the spot. And the guy says, "Hot water? There's our menu up there." And he says, "Well, just give me whatever's fresh for the day." And so the guy turns to go and do that. And he turns around and there's a group of guys that are all looking at him in a very suspicious manner. Well, he kind of leans back a little bit and starts to prepare himself for action, which is what he's used to. When all of a sudden, he is approached by an Indian man. And what I mean by Indian man is a man from India. And he comes up to him and says, "Good day to you, sir. How are you doing today, sir?" And the cowboy looks at him very strange. And he says, "I'm doing all right. How about you?" "Oh, I couldn't be better, sir. Thank you, sir." And he says, "How can I help you for?" And he says, "I have a question." And the cowboy says, "Go straight away." "Do you have any pictures of your horse that you ride?" And the guy says, "Pictures? No, not really. We don't use much camera stuff where I'm from." And he says, "Oh, that's okay. Thank you very much. Can I help you with anything else?" "Oh, no. And he says, "If you don't mind, I'm gonna have to be leaving soon." Oh, don't worry. He reaches into his bag and he pulls out a candle. And the cowboy says, "What you got there, partner?" And he says, "Oh, this is for you." And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a lighter and he lights the candle. And the cowboy says, "It's a lovely candle you got there." And he says, "Go ahead, blow it out." And the cowboy says, "What?" And he says, "Go ahead, blow it out." And the cowboy does it. And he says, "What do you want me to do that for?" And he says, "This is a token of peace from my people." And the guy says, "Peace? How is fire a symbol of peace?" And he says, "Yes, fire is a very important symbol for peace." And the cowboy says, "Where I'm from, all fire does is destroy. How could it be a symbol of peace?" And the Indian says, "Ah, the fire that burns from without destroys, but the fire that burns from within heals. It cleanses. It purifies. And for us is a symbol of peace. Take this back to you where you come from, and remember that you were met with peace when you came to New York." Well, the cowboy was really affected by that, and sure enough, every year at the same time of year, he would light a candle to remember that offering of peace when he went to visit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please feel free to stay tuned for more episodes.